Howdy everyone. So we're gonna try something today and see if we can get that out from back there to do some prep work to that way when we're ready to get it on here, it's ready to go. So stay tuned. So we put this back here this summer after we pulled it, I think I put it back here before I put the general away. I'd really like to get it into my house garage because, well, today it's not so bad, but for the last week it's been like 0 in freedom units. And that makes it really difficult to work out here. So I'd like to get this into my house garage so that I could, potentially work on it in there while it's cold out. My welder's in there and stuff anyway. So we're gonna give that a shot. There's only a couple hiccups. This is in the way, and that's in the way. So to start, we're gonna have to see if we can get this thing started. Like I said, it's the warmest it's been in a minute. So if we can get this thing rolling, odds are we'll probably be able to get this thing rolling. And this one fits out the front door, so we'll get that out of the way. This thing's just gonna have to move over, and we'll have to put this on the wheels and wheel it out, because it ain't gonna fit through there. I barely fit through there. And yeah, we'll see what we can do to get her dragged into the house garage. So this should be a good time. Well, we gave her a little contact cleaner down the throat because we don't have any ether. We got the Noiko, trusty Noiko on there. We got contact. You would think by now that the fact that I own a couple diesels, I'd have ether. I don't have ether. I don't know why. Instead, I got this bottle of contact cleaner that the head is totally roached on. But, it's flammable, so it does the job. Now we gotta see if the old dumper will give her what's for here. Hey, my sweatshirt. Well, I've been looking for that. Alright. The choke is not functional. Uh-oh. We have to put the old jumper pack on this one too. Come on, baby. Oh. Come on, baby. She did it! All right. Oh yeah, that smells nice. Good thing alternator overcharges the piss out of everything, the battery will be back to full charge in no time. We gotta fix that this winter. Don't let me forget about that. But oh yeah. Oh, this thing needs gas. Alright, well, we'll work on that. Well, we're getting closer. Getting closer. Now we just gotta play the sketchy shuffle game here. So this cab really doesn't look that big until you try to move it through a shed that doesn't have enough space. So yeah, we're gonna get it up on the things and see what we can do here. Well, there's a lot of fiddling around, but we got it to the door. And we got our handy dandy straps on there, so now we just got to hurry up and drag this into the garage before the wife gets home. Whoa, don't get seasick on me now. Oh, we're going to shorten these up a little bit. Right way, wrong way. Doesn't matter, we're going my way. phase 3 of step 2 here. Use a four-wheeler to bring her home, and hopefully it fits. Seems like a low, low operation. Ah, it's caught. Caught on a bolt. Something. Yeah, ground. Alright. Got her thrown over the ball. See what she does. Just like walking a dog. Alright, we're on the concrete. Yeah, move over a little bit. It would have been a lot better if I would have put my Christmas lights away already. I would have a little more room. But you know, besides being too damn cold to work on the truck, it was too damn cold to take down the Christmas lights. So. That's why I didn't pull in with that one. Yeah. This is why you use a clevis. Oh, really? Oh, stand by. Alright, let's try again. That's the wrong way. Really? Fucking steering column. Alright, that's as far forward as we can go in the garage here. But we got busted. So, somebody was really curious why I had the heater running in the garage and the garage door wide open as I was trying to drag a truck cab in there that didn't really belong in the garage. But we got that situated and taken care of. So it's back on the wheels. And it's in the garage. So, you know what? That's a major move in the right direction. That's what I'm saying. So, that's about enough work for an afternoon. We got the tractor put away. We got the dump truck back where it goes. So now we need to take some stuff apart on this guy. All right, it's a new night. We're gonna do some disassembly in here. We got this baby in the garage. Last time we were playing here. We got the heat on. We got maximum overdrive on the TV. We're gonna do a couple things to strip off the firewall in the front here. Funny story, a little ballast resistor. Obviously that goes with any old Mopar that's got points. That was bad when I bought this thing, so it only run when you had the key held. So if you bypass that, then the engine would run. So I put a new one on, but that was a classic Mopar nightmare. Usually everyone had one of those in their glove box. So we're gonna get that out of there. We'll get the voltage regulator out of here. And then I think we got basically everything kind of stripped from the outside here. Then we'll start on the inside. We gotta get the cab lights off. We get the wire harness down because eventually what we plan to do is get the holes all plugged up. So that way we get some nice torpedo lights here. And we'll make it real pretty like. burned the cab. Took this little plate off down here. Try to pull this steering column out. I'd really like to try to reuse this because there's a lot of character in this original steering wheel. We got a little bit of work to do to get it up to snuff, but yeah, we'll try to get this out of here so that way we can look at our pedal situation, and then we gotta get our gauges out and everything. So we got all our switches here. Choke, I took the PTO. I gotta get the little thing dinger here out of there. I mean, pretty simple, but we'll get the steering column out of the way. We'll start opening up the dash, get the wiring stripped out of it, because that stuff's not gonna serve us any purpose here. You get these the danglers from the cab lights out of the way here too. So we'll keep on keeping at it. Alright folks, what have we been working on in here? We got out here a little bit. We're just slowly picking away at this wire harness here. I'll show you what's up. So we got her cleaned out of here. Got the bulkhead connectors disconnected. We got this the air vent off. Our wire harness is kind of hanging out of the cab right now, but it's actually free. I think I just gotta actually pull it out of here. We started taking the buttons out of the dash, the aftermarket ones that is, and the ignition with the broke off key. Obviously we got some patching to do in here because, well, I'm guessing that was the CB mount, and I'm guessing the CD straddled the ashtray if I had to guess. We took the door off the glove box and we pulled off the old cardboard glove box insert that the Mises had got into. I might try to model that up and see if I can make an aluminum one at work. But you want to know the coolest thing I found? So I pulled the glove box out, and down behind on top of the heater box was some keys. Village of Hewitt. Must have been where this thing was a fire truck, but it's an original Mopar key. So, and then some other key that I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but it's an ace. It might be one and the same focus. So I don't know if it's for the doors or what, but that's pretty neat. And then, you know, I was down here looking at the wiper motor in there and everything. And I was looking a little closer, and I'm like, there's this one here with a V on, and it's hooked to that linkage. So if you watch, our air conditioning opens up here with this handy dandy little vent thing. And you know, I guess I never realized it was actually functional. We'll go outside and look at it from the outside here. I just thought that was an option this one didn't have. But, you know, looking at this, and I don't know how far it actually opens, but it's got an air grabber, man. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, so you know, I gotta clean this stuff off and see if this thing actually opens further, but learn something new every day. Well, this thing opens wide open, man. Look at that. Look at all the air that sucker will grab going down the road. Whew. Well, blow any stuff from out underneath the dash, that's for sure. Look at that. Look at that. That paint job's like brand new. Fresh from 1968. Unbelievable. Huh. I mean, it needs a little work. It's not, it doesn't pull open by the vent lever and doesn't exactly close the greatest, but that's pretty neat. Well, with the exception of the wiper motor and the linkage, everything inside of here in the dash, well, in the little vent button for the air grabber on the front, everything's stripped. So that's a great start here. I'll box all this stuff up into a tote to put out in the shed tomorrow. And then we'll be ready to get to the point of patching holes, I suppose. See what we can do with that. Here's an interesting little factoid. So this breather hose here was off the, I guess you'd call it the booster, that vented into the cab here and was attached up in the corner. So that's something that, you know, can go away now that we're gonna have air brakes. But I was looking down at this here, my seat belts, and I was like, oh, I'll probably have to unbolt them. All that holds it is this tiny little cotter key, and then these open up off the hook, and every single one is like that. I can't believe that. That is wild. I mean, in the event of an accident, I don't know how much a seatbelt is really going to help you in this thing anyway. But I mean, I guess it's the thought that counts. Yeah, look at that. Seatbelt off. I never seen anything like that in my life. Although I never worked on anything this old either. So, yeah, that's, I'd say pretty neat, but that's, I'll just say interesting at this point. So we got the wiper assembly out, the washers, although I think I might have forgot to take, there might be a seal on there. I'll have to look. I'm gonna have to take those off. Both sides here. These, I assume, are some sort of anti-rattle device for the hood. So we'll take those off, get them out of the way too. So as we do at the end of every video here, we're probably asking ourselves, what did we accomplish this go around? And well, actually, this cab is basically stripped. I got some seam sealer and stuff to scrape out of here, but next time what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the welder out and put the right size wire in it and do some sanding, get some bare metal here and see about patching some holes. So it's a pretty big step in the direction we were hoping to go, which is exciting. So, you know, I've got a bit of a deadline here, which is ambitious, but not impossible. So I'd like to try to mock this puppy up onto the general chassis by beginning of May. So it's still February, so I got some time, but no time to dilly-dally, that's for sure. So stay tuned. Next week we'll be burning some wire, see what we can do. Till then, smoke them if you got them.